Emmanuel, and in just 3 weeks, he found the deal of a lifetime, negotiated an offer, got it accepted, found the EMD from a third party, me, and then found the buyer to sell it. Now, how did he do all of that? He's a member of the Flip Flop Flipper Apex community. And inside of Apex, he was able to find the buyer who's an operator. He was able to find someone who wanted to put up the money, and he's got the deal of a lifetime done, and it's going to make $40,000 on his very first deal. So if that sounds good to you, and you want to be like Emmanuel, comment Apex, and I'll send you the link.
Hey guys, welcome to the Flip Flop Flipper Shark Tank. We've got Jeannie watching. We've got 10 other people watching. Say hello, everybody. Sorry if you can hear the dogs barking in the background. I don't know if you can, but they're going crazy. We've got an exciting Shark Tank today. We've got 3 people coming up. Robert, who's here on the screen, he's got a deal that he's going to talk about that he's currently buying. Then Emmanuel, who is just in that ad, has another deal. You'll see a theme here, guys. The people that are movers and shakers are moving and shaking pretty quick. And then we have a third guest, Alejandro, who's going to come up and present the deal. So, guys, if you have questions about deals, put them in the chat. Let us all know where you're watching from today. And let's get started. All right. Emmanuel, man, how are you doing?
Man.
Hey, you there?
I just sent you the. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Cool. Just send you the info there. So what we have on there, this guy has like 9 apartments facing the ocean in Dorado. And he owns like 11 of them. The whole building is like 12 or 13, something like that. So he owns almost all of the apartments in that building, and he just wants to keep 1 or 2 of them and then sell off the rest. He's currently doing Airbnb on them. I think he's doing arbitrage, actually. He's giving it to someone who's paying him rent, and they're doing Airbnb. So they're making good numbers. It's in front of the beach. You got a pool there as well. And he's very open to do seller finance. I just haven't been able to do numbers on it, see if it's something that someone would be interested in buying, right? Because I'm wholesaling, right? I don't think I'm gonna buy that, but maybe someone would like to buy it, right? So that's why I'm here to see if we could talk about it, see if it could make sense.
So these are the apartments here.
Yeah.
Super
so
nice
they're
looking.
super nice apartments. Yeah, they're all like three twos, if I'm not mistaken, or 2 1s, some of them, but most of them are 3 2s. Yeah,
With
you
a
have
killer view. Wow.
yeah, beach
Which
right
beach is
there.
that? What beach is
That's
that?
Kikita.
That's Kikita Beach. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And what's the asking price?
So he is asking for between 450 to like 550, depending on what the terms are going to be on the seller finance
Wait.
for each one.
Okay, for each one.
Yeah.
Times 9.
Times 9. So he said maybe we could package like 2 or 3 to one person, or maybe we could package all of them for one person on seller finance. Could work too. So those sheets that I sent you are the numbers that. So he has 6 rented out to a guy, and then another 6 rented out to another guy. They're both doing Airbnb. So what you're looking at there are numbers for what he was doing on Airbnb. I don't know if you could zoom in on there.
If I make it bigger. Okay. So this for 1 month, he was bringing in, he didn't total it, huh? Oh, there he goes. Total payout, $12,000 for the month. And how many units? And this is all of the units? It is. Seaview, Island Dream, Seaview. How many units does he have, Emmanuel? Oh, we lost you, man. You there?
Yeah. So I think it's total. He's the owner for like 12 or 13, and then he rents out six of them to one person, another six of them, or another five of them to another person, and both these two persons do Airbnb arbitrage where they pay him rent and they do Airbnb on there.
Ah, okay. So is he
And then
trying? So the people that are doing the arbitrage, they still have leases, and they're going to continue to do Airbnb there.
so they don't have leases, from what I understood. They know that he's trying to sell, so as soon as if we get in and you're trying to buy this, yeah, they'll stop doing it and get out.
The numbers you have are his rental long-term rents.
Those are all short-term rents. He has no long-term tenants in there.
Well, how much does he get paid from the arbitrage guys?
I think it was like 2 or 3 grand or something like that, and then he's like on six of them, he's making like 10 grand a month on Airbnb. Sí, en la próxima. Esto no es una salida, en la próxima. He's making like 10 grand a month on six of them, and like sometimes he gets to like 11 or 12 grand a month.
When you say 11 or 12 grand a month on 6 apartments, that's
Yeah.
barely $1,000. That's not $1,500 a month per apartment. Is that what you're?
Yeah. So what he was saying is that usually the guy who deals with the apartments, he keeps one vacant just for making sure that everything runs smoothly. And he's like, the guy is really cares a lot about his superhost status and whatever. So he kind of leaves one vacant for whatever reason. I don't even know.
So he's not showing great numbers on 12 apartments.
Yeah.
And he wants $450 a unit. Is that right?
It wants like 450 to 500 something per unit. And then he's willing to do seller finance. I really don't know. I know he wanted some interest in there, but I really don't know what the terms were looking like.
What are they worth retail for someone to live in them?
So he told me that someone made an offer for this building a few months back for like 8 million or something like that, 8 or 9 million, which was a little bit cheaper than what it is right now. So it would have been like three something per unit. So yeah, they're around that price point, 450, 500. That's pretty much retail.
Guys, I don't think I'm following you, Emmanuel. I don't. So he has 12 units, right?
Yeah, he has 12 units,
Okay.
and
12
he's
units
trying to sell.
times 12 units times $500,000. That's $6 million. If he
Right.
got an $8 million offer, he should have taken it.
But there's three more apartments in the building that are not his. That's why it didn't sell, because whoever didn't want to sell in the building.
Well, that was insane of the people who didn't want to sell. What the hell?
Yeah, there
Okay.
was just only one person who said no, so they didn't do it.
Okay. So 12 units. Let's say you can buy them for $450,000 a piece. That's $5.4 million. I don't think that you could make the terms work, even if he's at 0% interest, with the revenues that it's showing.
Okay.
Do you, McKenna?
No.
I'm not saying. I'm saying it's not even close. But unless I'm missing something.
Oh, because you're missing that. So what's we were talking about 10 grand a month. That's not for the all the apartments. That's only for six.
Okay, so let's go back to the math.
So,
Yeah.
so do
How
we just
much
double it?
revenue is coming in for 12 apartments?
So for 12, it's probably more like 20 or 20, 19, 18, around that number.
Let's call it 20.
Okay.
That's $240,000 a year, assuming no expenses. He's selling it at a 4 cap. I don't think you can make the numbers work.
It's just too bad. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
It's not it. So you have to make him an offer that's way below $5.5 million. In my
Yeah.
opinion.
And honestly, making cash offer on this is really not going to make sense. The only thing that seemed so the only thing that caught my attention was that he was open to seller finance. He actually offered it. So I was like, okay, maybe we could make this work. I haven't sat down and done the numbers. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
sure, I'll just bring this on so we could. And this is not only for me to understand, but for everyone watching, right? This is really not that great of a deal. So I'm just trying to show that even if they say, oh yeah, we could do seller finance, doesn't mean that you could pay whatever. Going
It's
back to
like the guy that we
Anfield.
went and looked at the stuff in Rincon with, he
Right,
would do seller
right.
finance too, and he was asking double what it was. If it was worth $1 million, he wanted $2 million. I get the
Yeah,
feeling that this guy's at 5.4 million, and your offer should be 2.4 million. I,
yeah.
I don't know what the correct offer is. Maybe it's slightly higher than that, but that's no. Actually, I think that's probably the right offer. $2.5 million seller financing would possibly make sense. You'd be buying it at a 10 cap, and then if you put some money down and had payments, you could make it make work. But at $5 million, I just don't see how you could do it unless he's willing to take such a low amount of money for such a long amount of time that
Yeah.
you could pay $5 million. So if we try and think about how do you make $5 million offer work, then you try and make a $5 million offer with a few $100,000 down and payments of $10,000 a month, half of what he's bringing in, and have that go on forever.
Hmm.
Yeah, right? Like, how long do you do that, McKenna, to make that work?
For like
20
500
years.
years.
20
Yeah.
years or something. Yeah, it's going to be a real long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Um, do we want to take questions on this? Because I mean, look, it looks like a phenomenal spot.
Yeah, this it's great spot, but I guess I get what you guys mean. If you're
Is
looking for
there,
a business, it's definitely not gonna make sense for sure.
I wonder if there's a play for appreciation because of the location
Maybe.
where you buy it. If you're paying retail right now and you get a 0% with low money down, you could maybe just own them for free and not make any money for 6 or 7 years and speculate that the value will go up. And the problem with that, guys, is that
You shouldn't buy for appreciation.
yeah, because you have no idea what'll happen in 7 years. But if someone did want to speculate, maybe that's a way it could work, where you're doing the low money down, you're doing the low interest rate, and then you're just praying that the market balloons and you're going to make a bunch of money, and you can sell it to people that want to live in them.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, well,
And you don't think that there's a play where maybe you could seller finance individually each one and find people who would want to come in to live in them?
yeah, so that would be the other thing I was just about to say. If you could figure out what would they sell retail for? I mean, maybe if someone was going to buy it to live in it, they would pay $450 or $500, $450 or $500,000. And then if you can negotiate the terms on that and then go sell the individual units, you could make it so that you make money, but I still think it's a super tight deal.
Okay.
There's a lot of risk in that. And 0% interest or really low interest is really good. But McKenna and I have been talking about this a lot lately, and Don says this all the time. When you're paying too much, sometimes it just, I mean, you have to have it for such a long period of time before you catch up with the fact that you're buying something that's underwater. That it
Yeah,
doesn't make
and it's
sense.
not like you can force equity or force what do you say
Right.
do
There's
some
not a lot
value
of
add.
value add there. There's not a
Right,
lot of
because it's
value add there.
turnkey. Yeah, yeah. So like for example, Anna's deal I see where she might be able to pay over maybe what it's worth right now, just because you have so much space to really add value to it.
Is Anna
Whereas in
watching? Anna's
here,
called me a couple times today, and both times I've been on the phone. So Anna, I'll call you after this.
yeah. So whereas on here, it's turnkey. It's really nothing you could add. So yeah, yeah. I guess yeah. It really doesn't make that much sense. I could try and do what you just said, and maybe find like individual buyers for each one. The guy's pretty cool, so maybe we could agree to something, and maybe I could find him buyers or
Daniel,
something.
what I would suggest, and we've talked about this before, I would go to him with a cash offer that would make sense to an investor, to someone that you could wholesale it to, and then let him negotiate down to his lowest price, whatever that is, and then you're going to probably be far apart from your cash offer to his lowest price, and then start trying to work your seller finance magic at that lower
Yeah.
number.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I've ever since the first time you told me that, I've been doing it since, and it's worked pretty good. With a few people. So yeah, it's definitely a good strategy to do for anything you're negotiating, honestly. So
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Joel is saying if the deal doesn't make sense, it can't make dollars.
it can make dollars.
got to make sense to make dollars.
Gotta make sense to make the dollars, right?
So let's move on to your deal, Dad.
Brandy's asking does he ask questions? He doesn't see any buttons for that. Brandy, there should be a chat. There should be a chat on. I guess is he watching on YouTube? Do you know?
Yeah, he must be watching on YouTube. You got to log into YouTube, Brandy. There should be a button in the top right. Let me see where it is. I'm pulling up YouTube now. Yeah, it'll be in the top right, Brandy. And just hit log in. And that should let you ask questions. Or if you try and chat, if you see the chat, it might tell you to log in. Dad, let's move on to your deal. So, guys, now we can talk about Robert's deal, which is a pretty exciting one. You're already under contract. Yeah, you want to give us an update of where you're at on it and what the numbers are?
Yep. So I think I've probably mentioned it enough times that most people who are watching us tonight would know that we're trying to buy a 52-unit apartment building. It's a long-term rental play, and it's something that we're going to do a buy and hold on. We've negotiated this off-market deal direct to seller from 2.4 at the start down to, we got the offer accepted at 1.6 million, and it was a bank finance. We were going to go to the bank and get the bank to lend us the money. We then went to the bank to get the money, and they told us that it was going to be between 6 months and 9 months before they could do the loan. So then we went back to the seller and we said, hey, seller, the bank is saying it's going to take 6 to 9 months in order for us to be able to get the loan on this property. And she said, I don't have 6 to 9 months to wait. She's the youngest one of her family. She's like 78 years old. And so she wants to sell it quicker. So she came down to 1.4 million cash. So that's where we're at. We're now at $1.4 million cash on 52 units in a pretty good area of town on the north west side of the island. And if anybody wants information about what I'm going to share with you later on, you can set up an individual call with me, and I'll be happy to answer any questions anybody's got right now as we're going. We're at 52 units, 1.4 million. It currently brings in $29,750 a month of rental income. And that money comes 100% from something called the HAP program, which is Section 8 housing, basically. The difference in HAP and Section 8 is that the voucher that the people get are attached to our building. So once they move in, they can't move away and take their voucher with them. So we get long-term tenants. And in this particular property, the longest term tenant that exists has been there since 1979. I believe she's got to be one of the very first people to ever move into one of these units, and she's been there since 1979. It's phenomenal. So, guys, we have 18 years left in this HAP contract, which means that we've got income coming in from the government for the next 18 years. It's all long-term rental income, which means we don't pay taxes on that revenue.
Wow.
This is like a dream scenario for a guy like me that likes to own things for a really long period of time. And I really like monthly recurring revenue. I'm all about the monthly recurring revenue. So we believe that my company, PR Consultants, is going to run this place. It's completely in our wheelhouse. This is like the kind of project that we are used to running. This is a larger scale than what we're used to, but we've got several units. We probably have 70 or so long-term rentals on the island. So this is what we do. These kind of market rate rents, this is workforce housing type stuff. I think these units bring in about $600 a month, and they're mostly 3-bedroom, 1-bath units. So they're really basic, and there's not a lot of stuff that can go wrong in them, and they're in really good shape for what they are. So that's what we're buying, and what we're going to do, rather than go and try and raise equity and chop up the pie a whole bunch of ways and set up a syndication or something like that, is we're going to raise the 1.4 million in a loan at 12% interest, so 1% a month. And if anybody's interested in putting in some money into this first mortgage position loan, we're looking to do that. I think we've got about half of the money right now, so we're really looking for another 600,000 or 700,000. And the truth is, we're coming to the end of the raise. We're going to try and close this thing in the next 30 to 45 days. And whatever we haven't raised, then my business partner, Dave McCallie, and I are going to move some things around, and we're going to come up and put the rest of the money down. So that's it. If somebody is interested in this, then let's talk afterwards. And if you had a couple $100,000, for instance, that you wanted to put in, we'd start paying you a couple $1,000s a month from day one. You don't have to wait on it at all. We'll pay it out monthly. We're trying to set that first mortgage up, and people can participate all in the first mortgage together. And we're going to have like a 5-year balloon on it. Our intention is that we're going to liquidate some properties in Florida and some things in Puerto Rico, and we're going to pay people off over the next few years until we just get to the point where we don't owe any money on it, and we have hopefully a little bit more money as it'll go up every year, and we'll have $35,000 a month moving forward, and it's tax free for the next 15 freaking years, which is phenomenal for us. So.
Aleo says they're very interested. Aleo, I put the link to the free community. If you're not a member, go ahead and join, and you'll be able to message Robert and myself on there. That's the best way and the quickest way for you to get in contact with us. Yes, can I get in on it? I'm very interested. So, yes.
So let's have a conversation.
What's the minimum buy-in?
Yeah, I think we're probably... I'd like to keep it at a $250,000, but call me and we can talk on an individual basis. So I don't want to. If you're part of our community and we know each other and we've got a relationship, maybe we can do a little bit less than that. But that's what we're thinking. And also, guys, I'm looking for accredited people. So I'm certainly not trying to get someone's last 10 grand or something to invest in a property. Does that make sense?
This is a first position loan that has, it's a multi-year timeline where you're expecting for people to have their money in there for many years. I'm
probably expecting people to have their money in for 2 to 5 years. I'd like to set it up as a 5-year, and that will give us plenty of time to be able to liquidate assets and pay everybody back.
So here's something that's interesting. You're paying $27,000 a unit, and you're bringing in $29,000 a month. So
Yeah.
you're basically bringing in a unit's purchase price every month.
Yeah, that's true.
What do
That's
you
true.
expect? So currently, guys, the current management is eating all of the revenue. There's no profit on that 29,000. What do you expect your company to be able to do now that
Yeah,
with you taking over?
a great question. So we're running the math and thinking that we can run it between 20 and 30%. So I believe that we'll have a net revenue of about $23,000 a month from day one. Sort of a worst case scenario for us is a net revenue of about 20 grand. And that would be pretty heavy expense ratio for us. Like we've been doing this kind of rental property for a decade and a half, and we usually can manage to take care of these properties between 15 and 20%. So, to say between 20 and 30%, I'm basically doubling what we would really expect it to cost us. Taxes are pretty low on this as part of this HAP program. So that's nice. It's Section 8, so you do have to keep the property in a really nice condition, and you have to pass an inspection every year and all of that stuff. So there's certainly an expense to it, but again, that's right in our wheelhouse. One of the things that I'd like to say, and guys, if you have questions, please ask the questions. But we do this every week where we talk to people about their deals, and we are, I would say, coaching you guys on how to make deals and what it should look like. And very often, I'm trying to express to you guys as a group that sometimes this stuff, not sometimes, being a successful entrepreneur is going to take way more effort than most people will allocate towards it when they're first starting out. And so keep in mind, we've been negotiating on this thing for more than 6 months. There were multiple times during the negotiation that I told the seller that we were far apart and we couldn't do it. We were going to walk away from it. We happened to end up where we end up, and we're getting what I think is a tremendous deal. But it's not easy, right? Like I hear in the comments all the time, like, I want to do this and where can I do that? And it's like, man, you've got to really put the effort in. You've got to put in tons of offers and lots of time and effort, and then maybe you get a great deal, right? Like that's what I'd like to just kind of drive home here tonight. 6 years or 6 months of negotiations, that's a long time. I can't ever remember in 27 years negotiating for 6 months on something ever. So that's all.
Yeah. Massive action, guys. That's the word of the day. I mean, that is a sick return. Fernan just asked loan-based investment or partnership.
So we're looking to do debt, and we're specifically wanting to do debt because we believe in the asset, and we want to end up owning it. So
Yeah.
it's not that I don't love taking on partnerships, because gosh knows I really do. We do a lot of stuff where we partner with people. And if somebody was bringing this to me and offering me a partnership, I'd be all over it. But in this case, we found the deal, and we're just looking to raise debt. We're going to pay double-digit returns in a first mortgage position, super, super safe. They were asking 2.3 or 2.4 or 2.2 when we started. We ended up at 1.4. So we have a ton of equity from day one. This is a very, very conservative way to put your money to work and get it out there working in double digits, double-digit returns.
Video 1 asks, do you think a deal like this is good for a beginner or better for a seasoned investor? So if you were a beginner and you stumbled onto this deal, you've never done a deal before and you've just negotiated these terms. I mean, I guess it depends on your gumption and your ability to put in the work. Managing 52 units is difficult. And I think it takes experience, but nothing under the sun is impossible. If Robert can do it, if I can do it, anyone watching us can do it. I mean, it's not rocket surgery, as we like to say.
And it's not brain science either.
It's not brain science. It's not rocket surgery. All it is taking care of problems as they come up, making sure you have the processes in place. Now, Robert knows the work that's required. He knows exactly what's going to need to be done to manage these. As a beginner, you don't know that. So I do think there's a value to bringing on a partner if you are a beginner, but I don't think you have to. If you had got this deal under contract, I think going and raising the debt and not having partners is a perfectly reasonable thing to do. Long-term rentals aren't that difficult, compared to Airbnb, compared to flipping, compared to a lot of things. It's just making sure everything's in place and running smoothly and that you stay organized. What do you think, Dad? Do you have the same answer as me?
Yeah, I mean, so I think it would be very hard for a beginner to probably get this deal. We got this deal because our attorney, who we've closed dozens and dozens of projects with, told the sellers about us. The sellers really didn't want to take it to market. They didn't want to advertise it. That's why I haven't told you guys the name of the place or where it is. And someone's asking where it is. It's on the northwest side of the island, and I'll certainly reveal exactly where it is to anybody that wants to invest in it. But I don't want to put it out there to the public in this forum right now. But the northwest side of the island, in a pretty good place. And yeah, it would be difficult to imagine a beginner getting this deal. But if you did, it should be pretty easy for you to get the money together. It should be, I mean, when you have a monster, you will attract the right people to be able to come alongside and help you with it. So.
Absolutely. So what's the best way for people to contact you if they want more info?
I think the best way to contact me is directly on School. Everybody here, or most of the people here who are watching, should be either a member at least of our free account. Hopefully they're in Apex. And then either place, when you're on School, you can just DM me and we can set up a call.
I just put the link for the free community here in the chat, guys. Video 1 says join Apex. I agree. I'll put the link for Apex in there too. Guys, Apex is our paid community for, we've got 42 people watching. I assume a lot of you are already in the Apex, but these are the people that are doing deals on the island or in the States. I guess it's a group of deal makers. It is paid. I was just talking to someone, though, that has a similar group, and it's $10,000 to join. Ours is only 127. So,
there's quite a spread there.
Quite a spread there, and what you're getting for the two is very similar. It's access to experienced investors, funders. We've got a course in there of how to do a fix and flip. I mean, it is shocking that some people are charging 10 or 15 or 20,000 for that community as well, where you get a group call with people. Now, if it was one-on-one coaching or more personalized, I get it. But yeah, we're apparently way too cheap. So maybe we'll do a price increase, guys, from 127 a month to 10,000 a year.
That's a pretty big jump.
That's a big jump. So if you want it at this price, just join now.
Yeah, and once you're in, you're in as long as you're in. You stay at the same price, no matter whatever happens in the future. We don't go and change the deal on people. As long as you stay with us, we stay to the deal we came to with each other.
Pablo says, "I got it for cheap for all the content for being early." Nice job,
way
Pablo.
to go.
Yeah,
That's
I think
great.
he's been in since last year.
Nice.
Branny says, "Man, I'm frustrated. I did sign into YouTube, but I don't see the chat button."
Well, Branny, you can keep asking your questions there because they're popping right up on my screen. I see when you're asking them. I saw you asked where it was, and we can see that you're asking. So I'm assuming you can see us on YouTube. So just do the chat just like you're doing. That's fine.
Yep. And guys, if you're wondering how Brandy's texting us, he's in the Apex community WhatsApp chat where you get to talk to us. Lewis, I see you in the background here. It looks like you're busy at the Home Depot picking out fixtures. Do you have a deal that you want to present tonight? We might have lost
Hey,
him, guys.
last thing I'd like to say, I'm happy to have conversations with anybody who's interested to hear more about the deal I just presented. Um, when we're inviting people to come into the first mortgage position, I'd really like to keep it to accredited investors or to people who have done deals with me in the past. I just want to do that out of abundance of caution. I don't want to get myself in trouble. I don't know what you're supposed to do when you're presenting deals out there on the old interweb like this. So it's
Yeah, I think there are some rules.
I
And
think
it's
it's best
especially
if we just stick to accredited stuff.
it's almost, I would consider this very similar to when you put an ad in the paper looking for lenders. You know, we're really,
That's the way I see it too, right? And I can have individual conversations and we can go from there. So
yeah, because at the end of the day, you're looking for someone that already is lending money, that is looking for lending opportunities.
yeah, I'm looking for somebody who understands that earning 12% in a first mortgage position is a beautiful thing.
Yes. We've got a couple questions. And then, Lewis, do you have a deal that you want to bring up? I see you're in the Home Depot. I don't know if you can hear me or not, guys. Lewis, man, you there?
Okay. Mr. Water.
Hey, Lewis.
Thank you. Hey, what's going on, guys?
Lewis,
How you
did you
doing?
have a deal to present?
Sorry. No, I'm sorry. Oh, I got unmuted. I do have a deal. I don't have all the T's crossed and I's dotted yet.
Uh-oh. We lost him.
Lewis.
I think he's got bad service in the Home Depot.
Home Depot is not good for being on Zoom calls or things like that. I've tried it myself and it doesn't work.
No. Well, he's connecting back in. We'll see if he comes up. Let's say, Lewis, you're back.
Hey guys, yeah, I should be closing this week on 2 properties in Ponce, and I'm gonna try to find out how we're gonna rebuild these properties and get the deal all together. Hopefully for next week I'll have it.
Are you in Ponce now?
I am in Ponce. I'm currently at the Home Depot. I decided to move my family out here, so I'm renting a little place and fixing it up while we stay here and fix the other 2 properties.
Amazing. Good.
Yeah.
Good for
All
you.
Become real friendly with this Home Depot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just trying to listen into the other deals today. I'm sorry that I jumped on, but
No,
I
don't
wanted to say
worry.
hi to everybody.
Well, I'll let you get back to your shopping.
By the way, the event was amazing. That event was
very much.
amazing.
It was a pleasure to
It was
meet
good
you,
to
and,
see
and
you.
we're glad you guys were there. Yeah, I thought the event went really, really well.
Yeah,
right,
it was
Lewis.
great. It was great. I thought I'll see you guys later. I'll just hang in the back.
Okay.
All right.
Well, guys, we've got a little bit of time left. Robert's got to run to the airport to pick up his mom, but we can
Yeah.
answer a couple questions because our third presenter, Alejandro, didn't pop in here. Gary B asked, can I run some numbers by you? Trying to analyze my first deal. Gary, yeah, definitely come into the StreamYard. The link is in the chat right here on WhatsApp. Click that link. That'll take you into the Apex where the link is, and just pop into the StreamYard. While you're getting into the system, we'll answer some questions. We've got some hate from Facebook. We've got
Nice. Let's talk about that.
Hazelton Dwelling says, get to work. Deal usually means someone is getting screwed. So Hazelton probably doesn't buy groceries or own a car because they can't do transactions or someone's losing, clearly.
I can't believe that we live in a world where people think it's a zero-sum game, that It's very frustrating. You know what's
Donald Trump thinks the same. So Hazelton, you're probably a Trump supporter.
it's funny
Same
that
logic he uses on trade.
it's funny people think that way. I guess. Oh well. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Hey, thanks for watching us, though, Hazelton. Appreciate the comments, and you're welcome. You're welcome to comment anytime.
Well, and I will say too, Hazelton, that really at the end of the day, deals really do help both sides because people have different motivations. You know, if I'm a 50-year-old, 60-year-old person, I've had a property for 30 years, I've been doing all of this work for many, many years, and I want to get cash, and I don't want to have this responsibility anymore because I want to go to Europe, then selling to someone like me or Robert or Lewis or Andreas or anyone else that's watching here today, both sides win in that transaction. You get a lump sum of money. Someone else gets the opportunity to make money in the future and currently. I mean, it's really beneficial to everyone. And if a deal isn't beneficial to everyone, they don't happen. You know, they're voluntary transactions. And if they're not voluntary, that's called theft. So just wanted to put that out there. And then we'll go into questions. And then Gary says, I can't log in, but can on WhatsApp. Gary, let me see what's going on. Gary, you're a member of Apex, right?
He's in our chat.
He is. Gary, let me give you another link. Let's see what I can do here.
Yeah, I'd rather Gary pop in and then we could do face-to-face, have a conversation. It's a lot better format. If we can't make that work, then he can just ask questions inside of the WhatsApp chat and we'll answer them. But
Gary, I just sent you a direct WhatsApp with the StreamYard link. Go ahead and click that and it should let you in. While we're waiting on Gary, do you have a facility maintenance company you use to maintain your properties on a building like that, or do you just hire when needed?
it's a great question, Andrea. So yes, I have Luis Martinez, who is kind of just part of our team. He has been my contractor for all of the years that I've been on the island. He runs all of the work that happens. He's got a crew that runs all of the work that happens on our rental portfolio, and we're going to have him manage this property for us, at least for the maintenance part of it. So there is currently a maintenance team that runs this property, and if to the extent that some of them want to stick around, we're probably going to be happy to invite them to stay around. We're not exactly sure yet until we close how that company that was managing it uses those people. So if the people that are at the property work for the management company and the management company is going to go away, then maybe we're not going to be able to keep them on. But we like to keep people who know the building in place because, quite honestly, they know the building inside and out and we don't. So that's how we do that.
All right. Gary is here in the studio. Hey, Gary, how's it going, man?
Going well. Did I finally figure this thing out?
You did. You're live and on air.
You're with us.
Hey, it was a great event. I was there Saturday. Had a great time. It was very, very nice meeting everybody.
Yeah, we had a good time too, Gary. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us.
Yeah, very beautiful.
So you said you have some numbers you want to run by us?
Both of you briefly at the.
Hey, Dad, did you catch that?
No, he's in a deep hole.
Uh-oh.
Gary, you're in a bad spot.
Was that breaking up?
Yep.
Yeah.
Try again.
Yeah, I'm always story of my life, guy. Story of my life. Is that any better?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back for now.
So go ahead and tell us about your deal.
All right, I'm looking. Just my first deal, my first attempt, trying to figure this out. And again, I get all the numbers and all the ways this works, but I'm looking at. I found a 4-unit, three of them are 2 bedrooms and one bedroom. They're asking $129. I'm not 100% sure about the area. I got to do a little more research into that. But anyway, I obviously don't want to pay that price. I'm hoping to get around, 95,000 as the actual purchase price. Put about 40 to 45 into it, and then I think you can generate about almost 3,000 a month in rent.
Okay. So if you were all in at 140, you think you're bringing in 3K in revenue. Robert disappeared,
Right.
which means he's got the calculator open.
I'm on the calculator. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So Gary, if you're bringing in $36,000 a month, and you're gonna
No. 3,000.
36,000 total a year, $140,000 investment, 25.7% return cash on cash, assuming no expenses. You're not going to make
Right.
25% on your money because there are going to be expenses. You are going to have vacancies,
Sure.
but you still, starting out with that 25% number, have a really good chance of making between 15 and 20% cash on cash.
So
Right.
Gary,
Yeah.
do you have 150,000 in the bank that you're going to invest, or are you going to go raise capital?
Well, I'd like to raise capital. I don't want to sink it all in one place.
Okay. So the way that we do deals, and you don't have to do deals our way, it's just one way, and you can negotiate a deal any way you want to. We like to do 50-50 just because it's simple, where we get someone to put up the money, we do all of the work, and we split profits 50-50. In that scenario, you're coming in at a 12.5% return for your investor, which is similar, not including appreciation, but it's also not including expenses.
Right.
So sort of similar to what Robert's offering on that loan. So I don't think that's a bad return, but it could be more exciting. Probably what I'd want to know is what is the upside on the exit plan? If we have this thing for 5 years and we're making 12% a year, am I going to get a big lump sum profit at the end of this? Do you know what do you think it would sell for after it's fully fixed up and rented?
No, I haven't been able to get to that research just yet. I just found this earlier today.
Okay.
What town are you in? Are you in the San Juan metro area or somewhere else?
Yeah, San Juan metro
Okay.
area.
What you're describing is probably a fair deal. I would definitely want to be landing in that price range where you're at, so you probably start your offer a little lower than that. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, I was just trying to find the ceiling for me where it would make sense. Yeah.
Well, I think the deal that you
lose you again?
described is doable. I would say about raising the capital. Maybe you've got some money that you can put in it, and then you have somebody comes in for that half for a lesser amount. And when I first started out, I liked to do the 50-50 split, but I didn't ask for all of the money. If I needed $140,000, I'd ask my partners to put in, say, 90 or 100,000, and then I would put my own cash and have skin in the game. Skin in the game is super important, and
Yep.
so having your own money in there makes people feel secure and warm and fuzzy and stuff like that. So maybe you think about that if you've got some money that you can put in it, and it sounds like you've got something you could put in, and it juices their return as well, right? If they're making 12.5% on 140, they're obviously doing better if they've got 80 or 90 in it.
Right.
For half, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Is it feasible on the island? Again, this is fairly typical from what I'm familiar with. But to get an 80%, a round number 80% loan to value for the debt.
So is the property in pretty good shape? Will the bank lend on it, do you think?
I think once the repairs are done, sure.
It's
Or
trickier.
I ran the numbers at a 10% return, and it still makes a decent return for cash on cash.
So
Yeah,
part of the
and they're
reason-
starting to have DSCR loans on the island.
Yep. I don't think they're giving out 80% DSCR loans though.
Probably 65 or 70, I bet.
And it'll be 65 or 70 on a really low appraisal number. They'll ding you on your appraisal, even though it's not true. Allegedly. Who knows what they actually do? That's just how it feels. So I think if you wanted that 80% loan, then you're looking at an FHA or conventional, where
Conventional, and you do it on the purchase.
and you're doing a house hack where you buy it to live in the smallest unit, you renovate it, and then you rent them out after.
Which I really like that play a lot. And
Right.
the truth is, if the property
And
only
that would bring up
needs,
the AVR to where 80% would make sense, or they're not going to loan. They're going to be on appraisal, as you said.
yeah, I mean, as long as the bank is going to look at it and be willing to lend on it, they'll get it appraised and give you 80% of the appraised value in a conventional loan, maybe even more in an FHA loan. So I get that it needs 30 or 40 grand, but that generally means that it's in fairly good condition. The lights should come on, the toilet should flush, and if that's the case, then you might be better off going directly to the bank, because financing on the bank doesn't get easier just because you fixed it up and then you own it for a little while.
No. In fact, it might get harder.
It could actually get, I mean, anywhere else in the world, it definitely gets easier.
Yeah, right.
But on the island, it's like they're going to look at you sideways. So if you just go to them and you're the most conventional buyer that you can be, this is going to be the house that I'm going to buy to live in, yada, yada, yada. They've got a box for that, and they like to lend to that box. They like to lend inside of that box. And unfortunately, you just don't have a lot of choices when it comes to getting money from the banks on the island of Puerto Rico. And I'm currently doing a lot of research on this, because I'm going to put out video out in the next couple of weeks about the banking on the island of Puerto Rico. And you basically have the three big banks and then the Cooperativa, and those are the ones that do all of the lending. I think there are some of these more conventional lenders as well. So you could go to Money House or Aceland Mortgage and get a conventional loan, and it's not necessarily going to come from the four banks on the island. But other than that, you just don't have a lot of options. So when you get to the point where you're trying to do a DSCR, I think there's one lender doing it. If you're trying to do anything that's beyond where you're at, like if it was a 6-unit or something like that, you have almost no lenders for that. So just keep that in mind. The more conventional that you can be, the better it is, the easier it is to get that loan. So maybe look at borrowing the money on the house as you're going in, and then just using your own cash to fix the house up.
And also, Gary, just because they're asking 130, don't feel like you have to offer. Oh, we lost him, but I'll finish my thought here. Don't feel like you have to offer near what they're asking, guys. Asking prices are made up. So offer what makes sense. And if Gary wants to end up at, a $90,000 purchase, you really should start offering at 65, 70, 75.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I was trying to express too. If you want to end up at 90, offer less.
Yeah.
And I think 90 sounds like it works, though. I mean, I would also say this.
So.
I don't think 140 plus 40 works. So I don't think if you paid 140 for that property and then had to put 40 grand in it, and then you're going to rent it out and make $3,000 a month, that no longer is a deal that works.
Yeah. Oh, Gary's back. Hey, Gary, can you hear us?
You there, Gary?
I am. I apologize. I finally got somewhere stationary, and I lost everybody for a second.
So we were just saying that it is important to not start off at offering at where you want to be. So if you want to end at 90, make sure you start offering at 65, 70, 75, and that asking prices are made up. So don't ever feel like offering 50% is insulting. If I'm asking $1 million on something that's only worth 100,000, it's not insulting to offer me 70 grand on it just because I'm asking $1 million. It's just
right.
You can't be too concerned about what people are asking.
Also, there's one other loan that's fairly common on the island, and I believe it's called a 203K, which is an FHA loan where the bank takes into consideration what's the house going to be worth after repairs, and actually Lynn's on the purchase price and the repairs. So that might be something that you could look into.
You
And
need a general contractor for a 203K.
you do?
You do.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotta
that's
get-
common here. That's common in the States.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same requirements as they are in the States.
Okay. I didn't know about the needing of the GC. I don't borrow money very much, guys. So it's one area where I'm really not an expert. I just told you about my deal. We went to the bank and they told me what they wanted from me, and I was like, hell no. So now we're paying cash. So,
All right, Gary, any other questions for us?
Oh, I could keep you on all day long, but I appreciate everybody's time.
All
Gary,
right,
I
man.
really
Well, we
appreciate you coming in
you
and talking to us.
yeah, give us
no
an
problem.
update when you can.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
Good luck.
Talk to you later. It's like we're running a radio show when people don't have their cameras on. I'm like, oh man.
Well, it's still even when you don't have the camera on, when we get to have the conversation, it's better than the text conversation. So that's good.
Absolutely.
I've got to jump off fairly soon, McKenna.
Well, so Alejandro just popped in. Do you have 5 or 10 more minutes?
Yeah, I do, and or enough for more questions or someone else to come in. Sure.
Alejandro, you there?
Hey guys,
Hey, man.
Alejandro, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing well.
I heard you got a deal for us.
Yes, sir. I'm just updating on the Kaye deal. I'm actually on the so my connection can be lacking a little bit. I apologize in advance.
We can hear you okay.
Nice.
Yeah, go ahead and tell us about your deal.
Yeah. So McKenna and I were talking on the meeting we had on Robert's beautiful house, and basically talking about updating the deal and the things that we're doing right now. So
And Alejandro, let all the audience that don't know what you're talking about, give them a little update and a brief description, because most of the people won't have seen the episode from last month.
okay, so basically what I'm working on right now, it's a 5 multi-family project on Calle. It has 5 acres and it's 16 units, projected to bring 20 units after expanding. Right now the project is cash flowing $5,000 a month, and as is bring 10K, 6,000 net. Right now, basically we're structuring a deal with Hears and the seller. So the strategy is, or the main strategy is to buy the actual note, the debt that's non-performing right now, and do a deed in lieu with the owner, so we can get that deed transferred to the company basically, and then get the cheapest deal buying the property. Right now on rehab budget, we're estimating at least 200,000, and that's really good because at the beginning we thought we would have to go in and rehab for 600K. So that was a bummer. And doing all the calculations again and finding new people to work on the project, we could lower that rehab budget to like at least 50%. And basically we're going in with 200K on rehab, and that's being that's having the project really beautiful, basically like having AC units in every room, having like beds, having the fridge, having everything on the units.
And you already own 50% of this, right?
Yeah, that's right. So I bought the first 50% for $500 off one of the owners.
For $500 or for how much?
$500.
$500. You bought half.
Yeah.
I'd say that's well done. I don't know. Good job.
Don't tell the haters on Facebook. They're not going to like that one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So right now we're structured with here, so they're gonna want a better price than $500. So we'll see how that goes.
and there is some debt. There's some debt that's in default, And Alejandro, we're going to see it Friday?
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome.
Yes, sir. It can be
So how much are you going to be able to buy the non-performing debt for?
so the
About half a
non-performing
million.
is $500,000. It's 505,000 something.
Okay, that's how much the debt is for, or that's what you're going to be able to buy it for?
Both.
That's how debt is for.
Yeah,
That's it.
and we're talking to Mike Rusica, and it seems like that's what they would sell the debt for, and which doesn't sound great, except when you hear that he owns half of it already, and there's a likelihood that we could get the deed in lieu of foreclosure once we own the debt.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
So you'd be all into this thing for 700,000. You're currently netting $6K a month, so that's 72,000 a year in profit. That's sweet, and that's before the renovations, correct?
With renovations and the liens coming in, like the tax going on, we could have the full project go, the owners and the heirs out of the way, and full rehab done for 900,000, and that's really nice considering the after repair value of the project and what it could cash flow after the renovations, because right now it's cash flowing 10K.
And Alejandro, I think we lost you there, but what is hey, we lost you there. What is the ARV after the reno value, and what is the projected cash flow after the renovations?
So being really conservative, we're talking about 1.5 million after repair. We can see 2 million coming in, considering cash flowing.
I think you said $1.5 million after repaired value,
projections.
Conservative value, and I didn't hear the projected income.
Could you say the projected income one more time?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
A little bit. Keep trying.
Shit. I'm sorry, guys.
What's the projected income after the renovations?
Being conservative, 16K.
60K a month?
6K a month.
Holy cow.
16.
So when I look at this deal, guys, you're all in for 700,000 or maybe 900,000. I'm a little confused, and I think we're having some communication issues here because of the cell service. But either number works extraordinarily well. That means you have 500,000, 600,000 in equity. You're bringing in 720,000 a year in revenue. I mean,
which means your value once you're stabilized is no longer $1.5 million. It's many millions of dollars now.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some sweet numbers. What are
Alejandro,
you doing?
I think we talked about expecting after stabilization that it's worth about $5 million. Is that right?
Yeah, after stabilizing and going with increasing rents, we can easily go through 3, 4, 5 million. Depends on what we do. There's also a lot of space on the rest of the acres. There's basically 75% free up space that we can do a lot more and increase the income.
So Alejandro, what you're going to go and raise the money? What kind of deal are you going to set up?
Well, I was thinking about bringing in silent partners, and the exit would be on the 5th year, projecting worst case scenario to be year 8. So that would be on silent partnerships. I'm not against bringing other people, like other associates that want to be hands-on. I just like to honestly have the control of the project. So I would prefer silent partners and do a refi at year 3, 5, or 8. That's our 3 time frames. But since the project is really sweet, I would say that at year 3, worst case scenario, year 5, we refi them out and have the actual appraised value of the project to keep buying real estate in Calle. I'll be in.
So you want to have a predetermined buyout with your investors? Is that what you're? So you'll end up with 100% of the equity in 5 years?
Yeah, and the investor wants to invest on the project. That'll be great too. Depends on the connection that we have along the way.
I think that people will want the upside, but that doesn't mean that you're not able to do that. I just think you're going to have to make the numbers worth it for everybody, and that probably means buying them out at market value. But it's very interesting, guys. I think, Alejandro, how can people contact you if they want more info?
So I'm in the school platform, also in the WhatsApp. I'll send a message right after the call. So just to state my number, and people just can connect if they want to. And also the deal's on the table. Like, it depends on the structure that we make. I have no problem sharing upside. It's a really big piece. So yeah, it just depends on the connections and the deal that we make. I'm all open, all ears.
Perfect.
Awesome.
And guys, when I go out there with Alejandro, maybe he'll do a quick video with us. We'll do a walk around and talk about this. Is that cool, Alejandro?
Can do. Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right.
Man,
Good
I
deal.
love this deal. It's creative. It's exciting. There's a lot of moving parts and a huge upside. I mean, it's got a lot of bonuses. I'm excited to see where it goes. So, all right, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
That's a pretty sweet deal.
It
I
sounds
that.
like it's got a lot of potential, so I'm excited
Yeah.
to go see it. He gave me at the party all kinds of projections, and Alejandro, I apologize, I haven't looked at them yet, but I will before we meet. And then we'll do a video, and we'll see if we can put that one together.
Yeah, that is pretty exciting. Man. Well, what time do you need to leave? Do you have a couple more minutes?
Yeah, I think I have 10 minutes.
Well, here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to go into the chat. If you're still watching, the 42 of you, go ahead and put questions in there. Jeffrey Figueroa, I'm a wholesaler based in upstate New York looking to invest back home in Puerto Rico. What are some things I should watch out for?
I mean, if you're an experienced wholesaler, you probably already know the things that you should watch out for. It's a slower market in that making offers takes more time. I talked about the deal. That's a long negotiation. I don't think it should take that long. But when you're looking to negotiate on homes, it can take sellers a while to get back to you. I'll give you for instance, right now I made an offer of 110 on a house they were asking 140 on. And I think that I made a very fair offer. And it's an estate, and that they should take it. And if they're not going to take it, they should at least make a counter offer to me. And the realtor has told me for now a week that I'm going to hear from them, and I haven't. So, and I don't think that means no either, right? Like, so if that was in the States, I would just take it as a no. But in this case, it's just island time.
Hey, can you go ahead and turn your
Probably.
camera off? You've lost your signal.
I did?
Yep, that's better.
Is that better?
That is better.
You can hear me? What?
Yes.
Where did I cut out, or do you know?
You were saying that you haven't heard from these people for a week.
Yeah, and I don't think that means that it's a dead deal. I just think that it's island time and that it takes them a little bit longer. So that's a different thing, especially, Jeffrey, if you're used to that New York minute. I haven't ever heard the saying of what the island time minute is, but it's way longer than the New York minute. That's for damn sure.
A couple hours.
Yeah. So just know that. I was saying also that title work's done a little bit differently here on the island. Everything's done with a notary that is an attorney, and that's a little bit different than what they do on the East Coast there. Um, Banking is more difficult, so knowing that when you're wholesaling something, you're probably almost exclusively only going to be looking for cash buyers. So those are a few things. What else do we got?
And Jeffrey, I put the link to our community, both the free and paid. Honestly, being with other people that are doing what you want to do on island is very helpful. It's Relationship Island, you know that. So join the community, whether it's the free or the paid. It'll be helpful for you either way. Andrea says, what are the other sites to find more information on abandoned property in Puerto Rico?
Find It PR is one that I know Adon uses a lot. We use Red Atlas, which is a paid site.
The Crim.
We're on the Crim
info.
site quite a bit, and those are the big ones. Yeah.
Yeah, and Andreas, it's not easy. There's no website that's going to say here's the owner and here's their phone number. I mean,
no,
it's talking to neighbors, it's tracking them down on Facebook. If they've moved off island, it's actually easier to get information about them. If they're still on island, it's quite difficult. But I think the thing I've seen work the best is when you talk to neighbors and they have contact information for you. That's the most surefire way.
And keep in mind, an abandoned property on the island probably means that it's owned by an estate. And an estate means that just because you find one of the owners, that doesn't mean that you've found all of the decision makers. So we've got some content out about the way that the inheritance works on the island, and it makes it so that it's difficult for some properties to be bought or sold. And yeah, it's a lengthy process. We hear routinely about people buying vacant homes or abandoned properties after 2 or 3 years worth of finding the people who are going to sell it to them.
Yeah, it is. You get rewarded for it, but it's a tough process. We'll do one more question, guys. Haven says, I currently have 2 neighboring parcels on Fernandez Junquez, Myanmar Santurce area. Great neighborhood. 2 single-family homes, one with an additional structure in the back. Considering short-term rental versus long-term rental, just unsure. Thoughts? So, Haven, it's a math question. For short-term rentals, I would just look on Airbnb, see what units are similar to yours in the area, see what they go for a night, and just assume like a 60% occupancy to start, maybe 50%. And then compare that to what you would get with long-term rentals. And remember that long-term rentals are tax-free and short-term rentals are not. You have to pay tax on that. And then just do the math on which is better. If you're wanting to think beyond math and it's not just about the money, long-term rentals is easier. You just put a renter in there. Short-term rentals, you have more control over. You get to be in the property a lot more. You probably get to maintain it to a higher standard than you would with long-term rentals. So any other avenues that I haven't explored there?
No, if you're going to renovate for long-term rentals, it's an easier renovation than if you're going to renovate for short-term rentals.
Yep.
You don't have the expense of furnishing the apartment if you're going to rent long-term instead of short-term. I had this conversation today with one of our property managers on a hotel project, and we were talking about Airbnbs, like one-offs like this. And oftentimes we both agree that the juice isn't worth the squeeze, that you just don't make enough more money on Airbnb when you compare it to all of the things that you said, McKenna. When you have to do a larger renovation and you have to furnish the house, and you work about 3 times, maybe 3 to 5 times as much in order to have the Airbnb as you would to have the long-term rent. And then when you factor in that long-term rents is tax-free, I think that if I owned two houses in Miramar off of Fernandez Juncos, I'd probably be looking for long-term rents. And that's just me. I mean, I've done a lot of hospitality on the island of Puerto Rico, and I'll probably do more. But right now, I'm thinking that there's kind of a gluttony of Airbnbs, especially in this Miramar area, and the bigger need is long-term rents. So, and it's way easier, way simpler. Life
Way-
doesn't have the headaches when you're long-term renting it. So, I am guys talking about, we manage both sides, whether we're long-term rents or short-term rents. Our thing is to self-manage. So, um,
Yeah, if you're going to hire a manager, really definitely better to go with long term because the manager's going to take any excess profit and then you're making the same and you have to pay taxes. So unless you really want to make sure you have good maintenance, that'd be the one thing I think is better with short-term rental. You know, you get to be in there cleaning it every couple days. But other than that, it's a tough market.
but it's a really good spot that you've got those houses. Congratulations. That's amazing.
Yeah, I love that. That's probably my favorite area in all of San Juan. So you're definitely in the right location. Well, guys, Haven has one more comment. That's exactly why I was unsure for short term. Long term is the direction I'm thinking. It's 2 streets before your building on Calle Condado.
Haven, I'd do the long-term rents. Your life will be easier.
Yeah.
I'd love to come see your project sometime though, but I think long-term is the spot.
All right. Well, guys, thanks so much for being here. I'm going to put the link one more time for Apex. If you're not a member, you should be. It's an incredibly good deal. And we have a Thursday night masterclass this week, 5 to 7. It's private just for Apex members. So would love to see you guys there.
It's
Goodbye.
a really good masterclass. If you guys have been on the fence about whether or not you wanted to join Apex and you want to come just hear someone who's amazing, one of McKenna and I's good friends, Todd Harper, is gonna teach the class with us this week, and he's gonna teach us about why we should be generous. And guys, it's a powerful message that he's got. It's in my opinion, Todd Harper's got the best job in the world. He routinely speaks to groups like we are, usually even speaking to groups of way wealthier people than our group probably, and just convinces people to be generous, and then talks about how good a life that is. So I'm really looking forward to this masterclass, guys. Hopefully
It's going to be a good
you
one.
guys will join us.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.
Good night, everyone.
This is Emmanuel, and in just 3 weeks, he found the deal of a lifetime, negotiated an offer, got it accepted, found the EMD from a third party, me, and then found the buyer to sell it. Now, how did he do all of that? He's a member of the Flip Flop Flipper Apex community. And inside of Apex, he was able to find the buyer who's an operator. He was able to find someone who wanted to put up the money, and he's got the deal of a lifetime done, and is going to make $40,000 on his very first deal. So if that sounds good to you, and you want to be like Emmanuel, comment Apex, and I'll send you the link.